Hi, dear students, Jai Hind and very good morning. Welcome back. As you all know, and by the time you may be attending this lecture, you received a message that you have a second evaluation test to be conducted by State Board during 27 and 28 August. You all know that we have already started chapter number 3, that is metals and non-metal, that we already started, and you have already attended 3 lectures in that particular chapter number 3, metals and non-metals. But because we have a second evaluation test to be conducted on 27 and 28, which includes 4 chapters of science, that is chapter number 1, which we have already done, chapter number 6 we have done, chapter number 10 we have done, and one small chapter, chapter number 15, that is our environment. The chapter itself is a very small chapter, and there is a simple discussion about our environment. Some of the topic, if I just outline for you, we will discuss in this chapter what is actually environment means, how human activities are going to affect our environment. There is some little discussion about ecosystem, a particular word which you need to understand in detail. And as you have studied in your previous standard, a discussion about food chain, food web, and energy flow in any food web, topics are not difficult, very simple to understand. Okay? So, dear student, if we just mention the title of the chapter, understand chapter number 15, name itself gives us an idea that we are going to discuss in this particular chapter about environment. Okay? This is the topic of discussion, and you are already attending today lecture number 1. Okay? Now, dear student, if a simple question asked to you is that what happens if we add lots of waste in the environment? That's the first topic, 15.1. What happens when we add our waste to the environment? You all know very well that generally we are throwing lots of waste, and waste can be defined or can be classified in 2 types. You must have heard this word somewhere, sometime in your previous standard, that is biodegradable waste and non biodegradable waste. I don't think these words are new for you. One is biodegradable waste, okay, and one is non biodegradable, okay. Now, actually, what happens? Understand, 2 types of waste are thrown by us. Understand, lots of waste. Just if you just sit for once and just try to list out whatever waste you are throwing out from your home, just to start thinking that you are throwing out on daily basis the kitchen waste. from your home, you are throwing out some piece of papers, you may be throwing out a piece of plastic, piece of glass, understand? If you are running a pharmaceutical company, then you throw out the pharmaceutical waste, understand? If you are running any paper industry or plastic industry, understand? Or take an example, fertilizer industry, you are throwing lots of waste product outside, understand? Now start thinking, dear student, all this waste which you are throwing out, just for a time being you start thinking that if you throw all this waste in the soil, on the soil, whatever, then some of the waste are actually biodegradable. That means what? Some of the waste which are thrown by you decomposes by the enzymes acting on it. Suppose, take an example, we eat every day. Our food components may be carbohydrate, protein, vitamins, minerals, water, etc., lipids. All this material which we intake, may be organic and inorganic as a food, are all biodegradable because the waste which is biodegradable, that means what? Enzymes can act on it. Understand? Enzymes can act on biodegradable waste and converts biodegradable waste into a very simpler form, which is when released in the environment not going to cost any damage at all. But suppose you just start thinking that suppose you eat some piece of paper, are they going to be digested or degraded in your body? Not at all, because enzymes are not capable to act on it. So you throw out lots of waste. Suppose you are running an electronic goods item, then you also sometimes throw out the broken keyboards, some dust, understand? Some suppose an electric industry where you are actually making electric apparatus. So those broken electric apparatus, suppose switches, so that's actually the bakelite plastic which you throw out. Understand? All these plastics remain, understand, undegradable for lots of period of time. Understood? And this non biodegradable waste on which bacteria and other in short, if I want to say that non biodegradable waste is not affected by bacterias and transformers. In short, if I want to use the word, I may use the word that such non biodegradable waste is not affected by decomposers and transformers that you all know. It remains affected, understood, by decomposers and transformers, and because they remain unaffected by decomposers, transformers, saprophyte, my dear student, you know, those organisms like bacteria, virus, understand, fungus, which get their nutrition by decomposing the dead organic and inorganic waste. But plastic, understand, glass also to somewhat extent, so electronic goods item broken, that is also bakelite and melamine plastic, all these things. Even suppose you are running an pesticide company, understand, you are manufacturing the insecticide, the waste which you throw, all pesticide and insecticide, I doesn't want to say, are not biodegradable. some of the pesticide and insecticide which are spread on the crop. Understand? For protecting them against the attack of pest, insects and microorganisms are actually remain for some time along with the crop. Understand? And they make the crop unaffected by the attack of those microorganisms and pests. But it happens that some of the insecticide and pesticide even which are thrown or sprayed on the crop, understand, are non biodegradable. Such non biodegradable waste are going to accumulate in the constitution of the soil, which becomes an integral part of the crop product. Understand? Right? And then when we intake this crop product, they are going to be in our body and going to cause so many diseases. So non biodegradable waste which is thrown is ultimately harmful to us. Take an example, you must be remembering one of the pesticide, DDT, has been banned in our country by the government of India. The purpose, DDT is one of the carcinogen. Carcinogen means, you know, the chemical agents which are causing cancer are known as carcinogens. So DDT has been banned because it came to the notice of the government when this pesticide is sprayed on the crop for protection purpose. It remains on the crop and doesn't get biodegraded. Because it remains on the crop, it is going to be, when we intake the crop product, it will insert in our body and going to cause cancer. Lots of carcinogens, understand, has been banned in our country, right? So try to understand a very important thing regarding this. Okay? So throwing the waste, if the waste is biodegradable, just take an example, human body is biodegradable. Understand? In our Vedic system, in the cremation we burn the body so that it gets spontaneously decomposed. But in other religions, they are already burying the dead body, but the dead bodies are also biodegradable, not going to cause any harm to the environment. So throwing non biodegradable waste in the environment is going to cause an unrepairable damage to our environment. That's why you all know, and I don't think that I need to explain to you. You all are knowing this very well, that the government has become very strict, understand, in selling the plastic products. Polythene bags are mostly banned by the government, and government is insisting on utilizing the biodegradable, understand, non plastic product as a packaging material, that you all know, right? And a new trend has already started in the market where you are not given anything in polythene bag, but you are given, understand, in biodegradable form of plastic products. So dear student, when we throw both the type of waste, we all know very well that if it is biodegradable waste, no cost to the environment. But if it is non biodegradable waste, then it is going to cause unrepairable damage. That is your topic 15.1. Okay, what happens when we add waste to the environment? Obviously, biodegradable, no harm. Non biodegradable, going to cause a lots of harm. Understood? Suppose, dear student, the second topic, understood, that is, this is our little discussion about 15.1, and the second topic 15.2. I may just write here 15.1 so that when you revise you can understand. 15.2 suppose. This is adding waste. We just write a simple title, adding waste. Okay, and then we understand now a very important topic, that is ecosystem. What does it mean? Understand what are its components. Just try to understand this. Okay, ecosystem means what? So just dear student, try to understand a very important topic, ecosystem. What is actually the meaning of ecosystem, and which are actually the components of ecosystem? Just have a look at the topic. If before we discuss in detail about ecosystem, let us first discuss in detail about the name of the ecosystem. Suppose because I am starting the discussion from bottom to top, we are going. Just we list out some of the ecosystem. Suppose I speak forest ecosystem. I just speak the name of the ecosystem. Understand? Forest ecosystem. Then we will understand it in detail. Forest ecosystem. Understood? If I speak the name grassland ecosystem, definitely. Desert ecosystem, yes. All this are I am just giving name of the ecosystem: forest, grassland, desert, riverine, yes, riverine ecosystem. Suppose I list out pond ecosystem, yes. Okay. Just take an example, marine ecosystem, yes. Okay. Just try to understand all the ecosystem I just mentioned the name are in fact all are particular habitat. Forest is a particular habitat. Habitat means you know that the particular place where living organism inhabitat and survive. You understood this? The forest is actually one type of habitat, grassland one type of habitat. Understand? Desert grassland means it is such a habitat where also the living organism inhabited themselves, but in a grassland ecosystem means there only huge heighted trees cannot be found. That can be called a grassland ecosystem. Desert ecosystem, as you know, desert habitat, riverine ecosystem, river habitat, pond or lake, understand? So that is also one type of habitat. Marine, that you all know, sea and oceans, okay? So that is also one type of habitat. Now, my dear student, why? Every habitat is called an ecosystem. Why I call forest habitat a forest ecosystem, grassland a grassland ecosystem, desert a desert ecosystem, river a riverine ecosystem, pond, pond ecosystem, marine ecosystem. Just try to understand this very important word ecosystem, taking the holistic approach. Dear student, if you just think of any particular habitat, suppose we just confine our discussion to forest habitat, suppose. So you all know very well that every habitat has two types of component. Just try to understand. Every habitat contains of component. I may mention living component, which you can call biotic component, and I mention non-living component. I am telling it abiotic component. Okay. Now, in every ecosystem, there are two types of component: living and non-living, biotic and abiotic. Both the component are interdependent on each other. For the maintenance of biotic component, they depend on abiotic component at the same time. For the maintenance of abiotic component, it depends, has direct dependence on biotic component. In when you are suppose when you discuss about forest habitat as a whole, you have to discuss about both the type of component which is actually getting affected, understand, and you have to study interdependence of both the product, biotic and abiotic, living and non-living. You cannot separate them, they are inseparable. Biotic and abiotic component depends on each other. You understood this? So when you are discussing about forest habitat, you will discuss in detail about biotic and abiotic component and their interdependence. And when you discuss about both the component, because biotic and abiotic component both making a holistic unit which you call a forest ecosystem. Understand? So ecosystem is a holistic approach of discussing about biotic and abiotic component in any ecosystem. Suppose if in any ecosystem, if anybody asks me, can you list out the biotic component? Why not? In any ecosystem, if you just list out the biotic component or living component, in every ecosystem I have mentioned, it starts from producers. In any ecosystem, to enter in the gate of any ecosystem, it starts from producers. Then, my dear student, those organisms which depends on producers, herbivorous. Then those who depends on herbivorous, carnivorous. Then these carnivorous are eaten by other carnivorous, they are eaten by other carnivorous. So my dear student, we can sum up like this way: producer, herbivorous, then consumer number one, consumer number two, consumer number two. To to speak in specific biological language, we can say primary, consumer. Just try to understand the link I am just speaking out. Producers, okay, Producers means you all know green plants consisting of chlorophyll capable of producing their food on their own. Producers, understand, depending on that can be called herbivores. Okay. Then, dear student, you can mention primary consumers. Okay. Then I am not writing, but you should understand secondary consumers, and then the third level tertiary consumers. Okay. In any ecosystem, this is going to be a chain. Understand? Producers, herbivores, then consumers of first order, second order, and third order, primary, secondary, and tertiary consumer. Is there only this living component existing in any ecosystem? I have just mentioned out, no, dear student. Still, two organisms I need to mention, they are decomposers and formers. Okay, every ecosystem, these are the living component I just listed out, but at the same time I must mention decomposers and transformers. Okay, so if somebody asks you that which are the living or biotic component present in every ecosystem, so starting from producer, herbivorous, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, decomposers, and transformers. Understand, all these are obviously the chain depending on each other. Herbivorous depends on producer, primary consumer depends on herbivorous, second consumer depend on primary consumer, tertiary consumer depend on secondary consumer, decomposers and transformers completely depends on all these producers and composer, because decomposers and transformers are going to get their nutrition only from the dead, decaying remains of all these producers and consumers. So they also depend on this. So there is interdependence among the living component in any ecosystem. At the same time, there are non-living component also which are going to affect, understand, our lives, means they are going to affect the lives of the living organism. They are just to list out, just meant to mention some of the understood abiotic factor which are going to affect the life of the living organism in any ecosystem. Just if I mention, take an example, minerals. Yes, dear student, amount of minerals present in the soil, understand, are definitely going to affect living component living in any ecosystem. Then if I mention second, that is rainfall, obviously rainfall is definitely going to affect the lives of the living organism, that you all know, understand. Not only amount of rainfall, but at the same time temperature also going to affect. That is also one of the abiotic component going to affect the life of living organism in any particular habitat or any particular ecosystem. Then if I want to still mention number 4, that you can call amount of humidity. Humidity is also one of the very important factor. Humidity means, you know, the amount of moisture which prevails in the surrounding environment, that is called humidity. a level of the moisture. So all these non-living factor are definitely going to affect the life of the living organism. Understand? So dear student, when you discuss about ecosystem, you have to discuss about both the component. You have to discuss about living component, you have to discuss about non living component. Means you have to discuss about biotic component and abiotic component. This abiotic component which I just listed out are definitely going to affect the life of the living organism there. Just to mention as a simple example, understand it is actually a very in detail topic to understand how the amount of abiotic component which I have enlisted here, minerals, rainfall, temperature, humidity are going to affect the life of the living organism definitely. Suppose my dear student, if you see in some particular area where the soil or agriculture product does not contain enough fluorine and iodine, suppose, just to understand, right? So what is going to happen if the soil in any particular region is deficit in amount of fluorine, that is fluoride mineral, and amount of iodine, then what is going to affect in that particular region where there is a shortage, deficit of iodine as well as fluoride mineral, it is going to affect the teeth of the living organism living in that particular region. Because for proper maintenance of your teeth structure, you require a good amount of iodine and fluorine, understand, in water which you drink as well as in the agriculture produces which you intake in your body. So simple. It is going to affect the life of living organism. Understand? In some of the region, the people only prefer cotton clothes throughout the 12 months. The reason is the amount of temperature and humid environment. Understand? So this is we just talk about the human being. Actually, it is a discussion about every living organism. Understand? Just take an example. If you just compare the animal living in forest and animal found in Antarctic region, so definitely there is a much difference on the lipid layers on their body. That is no doubt a topic of adaptation, but at least we can come to know that this abiotic component are definitely going to affect the life of the living organism living in that particular region. Understand? You all have heard that one animal or one living organism which suppose inhabited a particular region or particular habitat never going to survive in other habitat. Take an example. Here I haven't mentioned one other factor also, but I must mention it, that is salinity factor, that is the amount of salt in water, that is also going to affect the life of living organism. Why? Some species of fish, understand, are found in the river. Some species of fish are found, understand, in marine, sea and ocean, and some species of fish are found in lake. Now if you just retransfer or intertransfer the fish of marine to lake, lake to river, river to lake, lake to marine, they are not able to survive in the changing habitat for a long period of time. Why? The reason is the amount of salinity also going to affect the life of the living organism present in there. Understood? So these actually these are some of the topics which you need to understand, that all in any ecosystem, biotic as well as abiotic factor are interdepending on each other. Understand? Just take an example. How, just to mention, how amount of uh, abiotic component means, I can also mention one another, the amount of gas present in the environment, that is also one of the important abiotic factor going to affect the lives of living organism. We are going to discuss in the later half of this chapter regarding this, but just to mention, the overpopulation, just we discuss in context of the human population, the overpopulation has given rise to increase, understand, in considerable amount in the rise of carbon dioxide in the environment, which is already affecting and going to cause some disastrous result in the coming future. The amount of ozone layer has gone depleted by the human activities, so that is also affecting now and going to affect, understand, and going to cause some irreparable damage in future. So dear student, what is important is that every ecosystem is actually a whole unit consisting of two types of component: living, non-living, biotic, abiotic. Both these components are interdependent on each other. When you discuss about any ecosystem, you cannot discuss about only living component and keep aside abiotic component. Not possible. When you discuss about any ecosystem, it is also not the case that you only discuss about abiotic component and you leave aside discussion about biotic component. No. If you want to understand any ecosystem, and if you want to understand deeply what is actually the meaning of balanced ecosystem, that's a word we used to speak in our old textbook, but nowadays they are not utilizing this word. But what is actually the meaning of balanced ecosystem? So just try to understand. Balanced ecosystem is called only and only when in any particular ecosystem the level of abiotic component is healthily maintained. At the same time, living organism present in particular habitat are also getting a healthy environment to survive. In every ecosystem, when there is a balance between abiotic, biotic and abiotic component, and the interdependence of biotic and abiotic component is properly maintained, then we can call such ecosystem a balanced ecosystem. Human activities nowadays has disturbed almost all ecosystem. We have caused disturbance to forest ecosystem by our human activities. We have also caused damage to the grassland ecosystem, understand? by the environmental pollution which is created by human activity like modernization, industrialization, all this activity has also affected it. Understand, river and pond are also getting polluted day by day by the human activities like to promote the tourism sometime also. No doubt, every government of every country has now become quite alert to maintain this natural resources available to us, and that's why, understand, you all know very well about the very popular and famous Ganga purification project. And so what is that? Actually, that actually gives an idea about the sense of living organism to maintain any particular habitat. Our environment, marine ecosystem has also got affected by the transportation activities. Not only transportation activity, sometime it happened, understand, that the steamers carrying crude oil barrels, understand, are suppose if they come across any accident, all this crude oil, understand, get poured in the sea water, which is going to cause a tremendous, has caused and going to cause a tremendous damage to the aquatic life surviving in sea and ocean. Okay, dear student. So any ecosystem, whenever you want to discuss as in holistic approach, you have to discuss about both. And one very important thing which we are going to discuss in our lecture number 2, this is a link of interdependence of living organism. If any link is broken, that means it is going to affect the life of all the living organism existing in particular habitat. Any one link broken, it is going to affect the life of every living organism. Okay, dear student. So in today's lecture, we have discussed about two topics, 15.1 and 15.2, simple topic. 15.1, how our human activity is going to cause damage to the environment, and what is actually the meaning of particular ecosystem that we just now discussed. Understand, in our material also we have given a detailed point wise discussion about both these topics which we discussed. Okay, so dear student, in next lecture we are going to discuss a very simple topic about food chain and food web, that we will discuss, and then how our activity affect the environment. As in somewhat it's a link of the topic which we have discussed just now in 15.1. So it may happen that in our next lecture we will discuss about, we'll skip the topic 15.2.1, that is food web and food chain, and first we will discuss about, that is the topic 15.3 related to 15.1, that how the human activity has caused, understand, damage to environment, and how we can manage our garbage household waste, understand, so that we will not play that negative role in causing damage to our environment. Okay, dear student. So thank you very much from Bharat sir.